Hey everybody, it's Spencer from Switch Captain, and today I want to talk to you about the difference between traditional Kailh box switches and their silent variations. For example, this really nice box brown, nice and tactile, but a little loud, and this silent variation of the same switch. So what we're going to do is a quick teardown of each, and we'll show you the differences and what makes one silent versus the other, which is obviously a little louder, and how they compare to each other. All right, let's get going. So the first thing to know is whether you're dealing with a regular box brown, which is this one here with the square stem, or a silent box brown, which of course is this one here with the nice rounded stem, is that they're both box browns. They're both going to give you a nice level of light tactility. They're both going to benefit from the box format, which gives you increased stability, a little bit less wobble, actually a lot less wobble, and really are kind of best in class in terms of offering a Switch experience that really honestly doesn't need a lot of lubing or modification to be pretty much exactly where you would expect and want it to be. One thing to really be aware of is I know that a lot of people actually think that box switches have to do with the shape of the stem, and they don't really that much. It's really more just that you have a solid stem around kind of the MX cross right there. That obviously is compatible with any kind of MX keycap and sort of the boxy format around it. So, for example, here you have an Otomu Box Blue. It's also a box switch, but as you can see here, it's a little more rectangular. It's got these kind of openings on the side, but it still benefits from the box format, as opposed to, for example, here with this Gatoron Red Pro, you can see it kind of has a little bit of a lower profile and a more traditional profile. And while this switch in particular doesn't really have a lot of wobble, these types of switches tend to, I wouldn't necessarily say suffer, but have a higher likelihood of being wobblier than a box switch like that. Again, doesn't really matter. This one's square, this one's circular. That is what it is. Beyond that, pretty much the same switch, but the sound is very different. So, you can hear right here with the regular one, it's really nice, but it does give you a little bit of a sound, and depending on your board and setup and environment, what planet you are, time of the month it is, moon cycle, and so forth, it's going to sound a little louder, as opposed to one of these ones, the silent ones, which really gives you kind of that same general feeling, very close, a little dampened, but really close. And I think a lot of people actually find these nicer, but at a much quieter level. So you can use it in the library and nobody will know what you're doing, which is probably typing, but maybe just smashing down your hands on your keyboards. Who am I to judge? Okay, we're gonna put you back there really nicely. All right, so that being said, let's open these up. So here's the regular one. We're just gonna get that up there, and we're going to put that one right over there for now. And then we'll take this one, thank you very much. And we will open this one up as well in the same manner. Just get it really nice down there. And in this case, did a little bit of the work for us there by kind of flipping the casing on the leaf. But that's okay because we're going to remove that anyway. And we'll put that there, and we will also remove the same thing from this one, and we'll put that there. Okay, so as you can see here, if we take the top casings off of each of these, this is really where the difference is going to lie. So we'll just put those there to the side for a second. And we'll keep that there for a second as well. And that one wants to stick a little bit, of course, so we'll put that one right there. Now, as you can see right here, this part is, pretty much the same. There actually is a little thing just like that one that goes there. It just didn't quite fall off the way that we expected it to. So we'll put that there. And, when you look at these, you'll see the, leaf there. It's the exact same as with all of these switches. They're kind of nice and contained, which is a little different than, a lot of non-box switches that you see, or a lot of non-Kaiwa switches for that matter that you see, where, the leaf is more exposed. But, they've got the exact same springs in them right there, the exact same weight, the exact same form and shape. And that one went out really nicely, didn't it? That one not quite as, but you can see there, they're the exact same. If you press them down, I'm going to try and do that without sending them flying, they're the same. And these bottoms are the same, the casing's right there. So, beyond that, when we go in here, you'll see that these sort of things right up here, they've got these little rubber things in them. They are pretty much the exact same as well. They are different colors. This one, it is, I think, a little bit thicker and it's a little bit softer than this one, which does cushion the blow just a tiny, tiny bit. But, I wouldn't even necessarily say that it's a particular difference or, what kind of makes or breaks the switch. What really makes or breaks a quiet switch versus a loud one is dampening. So, traditionally you'll see on like Cherry Silence or Gator Silence, there are dampeners that really, really will sort of change the travel distance of the switch, and they'll actually significantly change the feel of the switch by making it shorter, and it's not the best experience. So Kailh went ahead and they did something really smart, which is they actually made little inlays in the switch. And this is actually one of the reasons that this is round as opposed to this is square. And I know that I said that they didn't really have anything to do with it, and I kind of lied, because they do give the extra room to really kind of embed the dampeners so that they really just stick out a tiny, 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 tiny bit there. And you can remove these if you're brave enough. And you can see that they are actually relatively long pylons, and they actually do really kind of soften the blow as you go up and down. And they do change the feel just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and they do make it just a little softer and a little more of a thud feeling, but nothing that would really take you out of the idea that this is very much a brown switch and is very, very similar to a regular brown switch. And I would say much more so than any other brands. These are some of my favorite switches, honestly, even if you don't like or don't think that you need a quiet switch. If you like brown switches, I highly recommend trying these. There's also a silent pink switch, and you can see a typing test for that link down below, as well as the brown one. And it basically operates on the exact same principle. Now, beyond that, the one last thing is, as you can see here, these both obviously look very similar. Can't really see that because of how I'm holding it, but if you go like that, you certainly can. They're very similar beyond that. They have the exact same mechanism there that kind of causes that bumpiness and really allows you to feel that tactility. All right, so again, typing tests are going to be down at the bottom just about now. They're linked to in the description. If you're interested in purchasing brown or pink Kailh Silent Switches, there are links in the description as well to the Switch Captain store, which I highly encourage you to check out. All right, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time.